Good evening and welcome everyone to the Invictus Racing League F1 22 Tier 2 League, brought to you in partnership with gridfinder.com. Alongside me in the commentary box is Alan. Alan, are you ready for the Brazilian dance tonight?
Yeah, I am. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mark. It's good to have you back in the commentary box this evening. We eventually got there. Some technical difficulties from the games side. We're struggling to get people into the lobby, but that's why we're late. And we'll move on to, as you can see, is the tables in front of you now. And we had a great race last time out in Australia. Smoke, I think, felt very frustrated how last week went. He pretty much was the deserved winner, but in the end, Easty Matt stole the win. But with Smoke and Easty, Mark, both scoring big points, that has pushed them to the top of the table. And the likes of Ginger Tiger and Tirak and Martin below have lost out there, and now Smoke is the leader of this championship.
Yeah, just incredibly close. If you look at the standings, I think looking at the top three, maybe Ginger is like the most consistent driver, but just had a DNF. And while looking at Smoke and Easy, they both had like a part of the calendar which didn't really go their way. For Smoke, it's around lap 4 to round 4 to round 7, I would say. He scored like only 13 points in those 4 races. That's not good. And Eastman's, of course, the beginning of this season, he was struggling massively, but the last couple of races, he scored a couple of podiums. So that brought him all the way back to P2. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what will happen.
Yeah, I think Easty Mats, he's definitely being contention for this drivers' championship, along with a few others. But as we were talking off air before we came on, I think we're both in agreement that if the likes of Smoke and Easty have a really good night tonight and others slip up as well, then it could look like the likes of Smoke and Easty could be starting to become favourites for this championship. With not many rounds left of this season to go, we've had such a tight season now, but some are starting to slip away, aren't they now? Like Michael Lucky, unfortunately, who started off the season so well, has fallen away. Can the likes of Smoke and Easy now really start to take a claim to this championship?
Yeah, and don't forget about Ginger Tiger as well, because he's only 1 point behind Easty Met. So I think if those 3 drivers are not making any mistakes tonight, those 3 are the guys to look out for at the last 3 races of the season. But well, as you can see, the driver standings are incredibly tight, but the constructors, there's a bit more of a gap there. The Merc Boys, they are leading with 125 points, and Williams is following with 101. So that's quite a gap. What do you think, Alan? Is that gap enough, or?
Well, I would say Mercedes are favourites right now. 24-point gap to 24-point gap to Williams in second place. But you can't really rule out Williams still. This yes, 4 points, but anything can happen for these remaining races. I think it's probably going to be between them and then Haas just slightly behind, 1 point behind Williams. So, yeah, we're into qualifying now, Mark. The sun is shining. No sign of rain in qualifying. I wonder what we're going to get later in the race. But as we can see, Simply 90 coming out onto the field. First car on the track is.
Yeah, let's follow along. Simply the first driver out on track in the AlphaTauri. He is just coming up to sector 2. He's in sector 2 right now. The twisty section is so easy to lose the back end of the car there, or just to brake a little bit late and well, lose a lot of time, or maybe even positions in the race. Good evening, Kessa. Good evening, Burr. Let's see what Simply can do. He is going to start his first flying lap. And he is crossing the line right now. To start in 8th gear. Coming up to the Senna S. All the way down to 3rd. Short shift up to 4th gear. And full throttle coming out of it. He doesn't keep it nice and tidy to the inside. You see most of the guys doing that, but he decides to just go a little bit wider on the exit. Down to 4th gear. Looks good and looks quick for Simply. But how can he do in the twisty section? So far it's looking good, and he's staying nice and close to the apex here. Up to a difficult braking zone. It's so easy to just brake a little bit too late, drift out wide and hit the grass, and well, anything can happen from that point. Here we go, he's up to the final straight, coming up to the start finish line, and he will be the first to set a timed lap. And it will be a 1:8.774 for Simply, the AlphaTauri driver. Let's see who else is on the flying lap. Oh, and I was just about to go to Louis, and he just lost the control of the car. Luckily for him, there's no damage whatsoever, but Russman is just coming across the line to do a 1:08.8. Kuipers with a 1:08.4. That's a good lap time, and a 3/10 jump from Simply in P2 at the moment. Kessa with a 1:8.1. We see some really quick lap times coming in right now. So let's see what a Ginger Tiger can do. Ginger is in sector 2 at the moment. So let's see what the Aston Martin driver can do. The man in P3 in the standings at the moment. On the long DRS straight, coming up to the start finish line, and his first lap time will be a 1:8.1 as well. That's a really good lap time, and so close to Kessa. That good Ginger in P2. So let's find the next driver who is out on track to set a fast lap time. Sorry for the bit of delay in commentary, guys. We're having a bit of technical difficulties with the microphone on Alan's side, I think, but hopefully it's better right now. Are you still with us, El? I don't think he is. So for now, Sunboy with a 1:08.5, and the gaps are so close all together now. Let's see the delta times compared to the leader, and literally the top 12 is within a second. So that's it's incredibly close, and I'm already looking forward to see what the guys can do in the final runs, because the track evolution is definitely there. So who else is on an outlap now? Let's see what Martin can do. Martin, his season is, he has shown he got the pace. He's shown he got the pace, but in the races he is just not consistent enough and makes mistakes, and he is racking up the DNFs at the moment. But let's see if Martin can do and can show his proper pace tonight in Brazil in his Ferrari. He's starting his lap now. And after seeing the first round of quali laps, guys, if you're watching right now, let us know in the comments who you think will be claiming the top spot tonight.
You should be able to hear me now, Mark. I can now.
I can hear you, mate.
If everything sounds excellent. Sorry about that. It's just really something going on my end, but hopefully it's fine now. You talk about Martin. I have to say, I really want to talk about ALB Enos 06 from last week. Absolutely incredible race from him. He finished P4 in his Ferrari. First points of the season for Ferrari as well. Ferrari yet to score a point up until last week. Enos, absolutely brilliant drive from him to come on P4. He was absolutely delighted. For me, he was up there. One of the drivers of the night there. He was absolutely superb, and he'll be hoping to do the same again this evening and score more good points for Ferrari. And yes, they might not be in contention to do anything now, Ferrari, this season, but he'll probably want to round this season off and just show what he can do and score as many points as he possibly can. And he certainly did that in Australia. Martin, meanwhile, into P14 with a 1:09.6. And just to give you a bit of an update, Mark, we're apparently expected some rain in the race, but not sure when.
Ooh, that is going to look tasty then. I'm really looking forward to that, because rain around Interlagos is always some good fun to watch. So it will be interesting to see how the guys can do that, because you need to have a lot of downforce for sector 2. But if you go too high in the downforce, you'll be a sitting duck on the straight, but it will be really tricky to set up the car for both dry and the wet weather. So I'm really curious to find out what the guys found out about that. But for now, let's see what Michael Lucky can do. Our former championship leader, he has dropped down a couple of positions the last racing rounds. But what can he do tonight in Brazil? Can he bounce back and get back into his top form, which he had at the start of the season? He's in sector 2 now. And he is hitting that corner perfectly. Stays in third gear, short shift up to 4 to maximize all the power to the rear wheels. No wheel spin whatsoever. But he is at the moment 10th slower than his own time, which is a 1:86, which is a little bit surprising for me, but maybe no, he went into the pits.
I'm just keeping an eye on our current championship leader, Smoke, and he's not really had a good evening so far. He's down in P15, his teammates P13, so the Mercedes guys not having a good evening so far. Smoke's now on his second flying lap now. He's got a yellow flag ahead of him. Hopefully that doesn't affect him too much, the slow running car ahead. Hopefully that doesn't get in his way. He's 8/10 up in the second sector on his previous time. Sunboy, meanwhile, has retired from the session. He's crashed out on track, Mark, so Sunboy will be P11 at best this evening. Smoke will be going much faster this lap. Where he's going to go? P15 to P7, a 1:08.3. That is better from Smoke. He can't afford this end of the championship to be starting outside the top 10, because that's going to make life very difficult if he's going to fight for this championship.
Yeah, definitely, but look at the gaps, they're so incredibly close as SFR Martin takes a professional pole position with a 1:08 flat. Strong lap time again, and the gaps are so close. The top 14 guys are within 7.5 tenths of a second. Good evening, Simon. Good evening, mate.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Simon is engineering Kessler tonight, so well, good luck to you guys.
I think, Mark, Louis has crashed out on track, because if I'm just looking, yeah, Lewis crashed out on track, Mark, at the Senna S, because I thought he was coming out, he retired in the pit lane, but that was Joe Hamster coming out of the pit lane. So he's come out for his next run. So Louis, another guy, crashing out with 6 minutes on the clock left. So Louis down in P17 may probably end up being last because Waitsy still hasn't set a time yet. So two guys already out of this session, Mark. That's a surprise. But this track, it can bite you, can't it? And such a fast track as well. If you get it slightly wrong, you can be in serious trouble.
Yeah, and the thing I like about this track is just like there's no massive stuff. If you at the most important parts of the track, if you place like one wheel outside of the tarmac, you're in the grass. And well, what you don't want to do is put a tire in the grass. In an F1 car, you simply don't want to do that. So this track really bites you if you make a mistake, and if you overdrive the car, it will do as well. You can't overdrive the car too much. As Martin just shown us what will happen if you overdrive the car. You will simply just drift out wide over the curb into the grass. You lose all the traction you have and all the speed is out of the car, and that's well, simply not good enough. And he still sets a 109 flat, but I think it could have been a lot better.
Oh, sorry, Joe Hamster on his latest flying run has spun it after the second DRS straight. He has spun it. Thankfully, he kept it out of the barrier so he can breathe a huge sigh of relief and get going again. But Joe down in P16 not having a good night himself. He's going to have to get his car back into the pits and for one last go. What we've got not long left now of this session remaining, and this track's really starting to punish people as Trems now, the other Haas driver, teammate of Tirac, has popped himself into P7 with a 108.3. Look at the amount of guys there, Mark, on a 108.3. You've got Trems 108.3, Tirac 108.3, Enos 108.3, Simply 108.3, and Smoke 108.3. As Waitsy, wow, there's a lap time, a 107.9 to go provisional pole.
Waitsy, I didn't see him coming, but he is the first guy to dip into the 107s, and that's really, really impressive. At the moment, I think Tirac is going to start his flying lap, and maybe the Haas driver will be able to get close, or at least closer to Waitsy with a 107.9. That's a strong lap time. Good evening, Luke. Good evening, mate. Good to see you here. How you doing? Let's drive on board with Tirac for the remaining of this lap. He's just done sector 1 and he's 2/10 quicker than his own time. And a 2/10 quicker might not seem a lot, but 2/10 quicker brings him around P4 at the moment already. So how can he do? The fast right-hander was clean, was good. Into the twisty section, it's so easy to lose all your momentum here, but so far Tirac is doing a phenomenal job. Strong on the braking. How is the exit here? If fourth gear to minimize the wheel spin. Stayed nice to the inside curb there. Drops down to third gear. A short shift up to fourth again. What will his time be? Ooh, he butted out just a little bit. Lost a bit of time there, I think, but he will be crossing the line in a 1:08 flat into P4. Wow.
That is crazy tight, isn't it? Once again in F2, these guys are always putting on a fantastic show for us, not only in qualifying but also in race as well. I mean, all the way down to P14, and it's just pretty much half a second from first to P14, which is it's absolutely incredible to see these guys find the margins. Just 2 minutes left on the clock, Mark. Who are we feeling for this pole position? Can Waitsy hang on, or can someone else bring a surprise? I've got a feeling personally that we've still yet to see a mega stonking lap from Easty Max. We've seen him a few times this season, haven't we? Pull out pole position laps, and Easty's just coming out of the pits now, so I think he'll be one to keep.
Yeah, he definitely will be one to keep an eye out. It's he's coming out to the pits, but I also want to see what Kuipers can do. Kuipers is on his flying lap and he's 3/10 faster than his own previous time. So Kuipers is looking to set the best lap time at the moment if he can nail Sector 2 and Sector 3. Let's see how Kuipers can do, but if he continues on with a pace like this, he will be the guy to watch for the provisional pole. What is his Sector 2 time saying? We will know in only one corner time. But just this one, he's got a slower car in front of him. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way. Let's see what is the delta time saying. Ooh, he lost a lot of pace there. But he is still half a tenth faster than his own time. And he had a pretty good exit. What can Kuipers do? He's coming up to the main straight, start-finish straight now. Using everything he can. He's crossing the line in a 1:08.1. He lost even more time there in the final sector.
That's a shame for Kuipers after looking so strong in Sector 1. I'm going to keep an eye on Eastermats. As I said, he's just started his final flying lap now and he's fractionally up in the first sector. It's going to be fractions here. I think it's going to take pole position. Waits is also out there. Don't rule out Martin either. This could go to anybody, I think, in that top 10.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I have no clue who will get this. If you are in the chat, if you know who is going to get pole position, let us know. My bet would be Waitsy simply because he's at the top right now. But it could be any of the top 11 guys, I would say. So Eastermats in Sector 2 now. He's just a little bit faster than SFO Martin in the professional pole with a 1:07.934. Oh, look at that gap, Alan.
So close, and here comes Eastermats. Can he improve? Can he get the pole position? No, he can't. P5.
He can't. And Waitsy is on a flyer at the moment. Oh no, he spun the car. Oh no, he was going to get this professional pole position, I think. But he spun the car, entering the long start-finish straight. That's unfortunate for him. Let's see if we can find anyone else who is on a hot lap. Ines is crossing the line right now. And he would jump up to P5 for Ferrari. That's a good effort. It's a 1:08 flat as well. That's amazing.
That's just crazy, isn't it? That qualifying. Look at that, a 1:07.9, and all the way down to what is it? P13 is a 1:08.3. So pretty much 4/10 of a second separate the top 13. That is phenomenal. I think that's probably our closest qualifying we've had this season.
Yeah, I think so as well. I can't remember any qualifying session that was closer than this. It's well, if this is showing how the race will be made, I have no words for that. So let's see what the guys can do in the race condition, of course. But so far, this qualifying session was really good. Luke, stuck on a nice shift at work. Well, hopefully we can entertain you just a little bit. So let's see.
It'll be interesting. Martin, who missed.
And here we go with the final classification with SFO Martin in P1. We have Waitsy in P2, Kuipers takes P3, Tirach P4, Ines in P5, Eastermats in P6, Kessa P7, Ginger Tiger P8, JSP in P9, Rusman in 10th, Smoke P11, Trems P12, in 13th is Simply 90, 14th is Michael Lutke, Sunboy P15, Joe P16, Martin in P17, and then we have Louis at the back of the grid, P18. So let's see what the guys can do, and as we have said before, there is a slight chance of rain. So let's keep an eye out of that, but for now, I believe we will go to a try start. I'm sorry if there's some technical issues with the audio. Hopefully it's better now. Let's see, we are waiting now for the cars to show up on the start-finish line.
If you look at the clouds,
it looks like a good racing weather though. It's a little bit cloudy. But it's going to be dry. But there might be some rain near to the end, so let's see what the guys can do. We are now waiting for the drivers to finalize their setups. And in the meantime, I will try to get rid of this echo. So hopefully it's better right now. And let's see if we can stay good as it is now. Let's see, and we see Ellen joining in as well. So hopefully now all the issues we had earlier are going to be fixed and we can just enjoy this race and this race start. Good evening, Daryl. Good evening, mate. Welcome.
hopefully, Mark, hopefully we're all right now for the race. I honestly don't know what is going on this evening. It's just some really loud noises on my end, and it's making it really difficult to be able to hear what is going on and hear yourself. So apologies about that this evening. We'll hopefully make sure this doesn't carry on through the race and we can enjoy the race drama-free and incident-free, involving us, the commentators. But when it comes to this race, we could be seeing incidents with that overcast-looking weather right now. What we're thinking, Mark, because look at this right now, that looks like it could be raining sooner rather than later. And if that is the case, I wonder what sort of strategies these guys will be going for.
Yeah, well, if it's going to rain at the end, I expect to see a lot of guys go into the hard tires. And Rens is already predicting his top 3 already is very, very brave. But he is predicting a win for EST match, Jinja in P2 and Tirag in P3. Well, let's see what they can do, because we are going to the grid now and let's see what the guys can do. And remember, we are going straight to the 5 red lights. So the cars are on track, the lights are going on. We got 3, 4 and we got 5 red lights. And we are underway. The Brazilian Grand Prix is underway. Who has the best start? Let's see. It looks to me as Waitsy in the Red Bull takes the lead into turn 1. He's late on the break and he takes the lead of the race so far. We see Eastymat dropping down a couple of positions. Down to P6. And Eastymat looks to me as if he is driving on the hard tires.
Yeah, yes he is. And one person who's driving on the hard tyres, Martin, he had an absolutely shocking start to this race. Thankfully for himself, he managed to hold on to P4, but he was nearly off the track through the Senna S's, but he's recovered now and he'll be hoping to try and stick to these cars ahead. We've got all medium and hard runners, no soft tyres out there for anybody, as we see Enos really starting to put the pressure on Martin. Oh, as they bang wheels, but there was not enough there for Martin to be spun out anything. And Enos putting pressure on the Alpine car on those hard tyres. He's on the medium tyres, so he'll be wanting to get a hurry on here and get past the Alpine as quick as he can while he's got the advantage of the mediums.
Yeah, meanwhile, Kessa lost a lot of positions. I'm not sure what happened there, but it seems like he got forced wide a little bit on the final corner. And he lost like 2 or 3 positions there. And all the momentum of the Alfa Romeo was gone. But Kessa is on the medium tire, so he will need to make up some time. Let's go back to Jinja, because he's following EST Mats really, really closely. And EST is on the hard tires. So Jinja needs to get the move done, because he needs to stay close to the top medium runners if he wants to stay in contention. And here he goes up to the inside of Easty Metz, and he takes the position. And Russman is following him along, so Easty just dropped down 2 positions.
JSP is pitted. I don't know if he picked up any damage or anything, but early pit stop for JSP. Meanwhile, Michael Ludke in the Red Bull is putting pressure on Smoke for P10. He initially did get past Smoke into turn 1, but Smoke managed to get that Mercedes back in front. Smoke hanging on to P10 now, but Smoke reeling in Trems ahead, and there's one hell of a train forming here, Mark. Down in the lower end of the points here, and fractions again could be in play as Tirac picks up the fastest lap with a 1:11.0 on the medium tyre. He's in second place. He's starting to put pressure on Waitsy now for the lead. Waitsy 4 tenths of a second ahead, but Tirac will be wanting to take advantage with its DRS now enabled.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on those. Meanwhile, Trems is going up to the inside of Easty Metz on the medium tires, and he gets the move done as well. So Easty is not enjoying his time on the hard tires for now. He dropped all the way down to P9 with Smoke really close behind with only a gap of 3/4 tenths. Wow, this race start, everyone is so close. I don't know where to watch, but for now I will see what Michael Ludke and the Red Bull can do. He is following Smoke. And he looks to be the guy with a little bit extra pace.
Just keeping an eye on Tirac. He's using some ERS. He's now got DRS. Oh, no. Can he get...
Oh, sorry to interrupt you there, Alan. Smoke just completely lost the car and is in the grass down to P17.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That could be huge in the championship. Smoke is currently leading the championship, but a non-score tonight could find himself similar to Ginger last week as the rain is falling. Already? Mark, I'm riding on board with Tirac, and there is raindrops on the screen, so the rain is starting to fall now. We're on lap 4. So Tirac is trying his hardest to get. When do these guys start to react to this rainfall, and how intense is this rain going to be? Are they going to have to go on to a set of intermediates now, or are they going to be able to survive a few laps on these slick tyres and just ride out these conditions? But these conditions, Mark, are going to get very tasty shortly on. Kuipers is hanging on to the back of Tirac as well. So it's a very close 1-2-3, but Kuipers is really coming at Tirac now. Kuipers must be using a lot of ERS. He is into second place. Comes Kuipers around the outside of Tirac, but Tirac's not giving this up. Kuipers is going to get second place, and Kuipers into second place there. He burnt through a lot of ERS, used his DRS, made it work. He's into second place now. So Tirac, who looked like he was going to potentially take the lead of this race, is now down to P3 with Kuipers P2, and that rain is getting heavier by the second.
Wow, I think the rain did come down a little bit earlier than the hard runners expected. That's not in their favor, but somehow SFR Martin is still in P4 on the hard tires. Everyone dropped down massively who started on the hard tires, but somehow SFR Martin just likes the cold hard tires, I guess. Oh, but Kuipers is so close now to Waitsy entering the start-finish straight right now. Is he going to use a lot of ERS? He's got plenty to use, and he is using it. He is closing in on the Red Bull now. He's closing in, goes up to the outside of the track, and that's the move done for P1. And we have a new leader in this race in Kuipers.
Great move, and it's exactly what he did to Tirac on the previous lap. But Tirac now is going to try and take advantage of Waitsy, but Waitsy will have DRS here to try and go back at Kuipers. So unfortunately for Tirac, he's not going to be able to have an attack on Waitsy. Waitsy's coming back at Kuipers. He thought about it, he's thinking about it. Wow, they slightly touched wheels. I thought he was going to bail out of that. He probably made Kuipers sweat a bit there. Kuipers probably didn't expect him to keep the nose in, but it was good driving from the pair of them. Kuipers stays in the lead for now, but these three are having a real good battle here. They're going to be swapping places for the next few laps, I think, unless this rain, which is getting heavier, starts to play a factor.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe Tirach is going to be the one who is left in at the end. He can save some ERS while the other two are battling each other. And if he can actually stay close enough and save ERS, and he can use it all and just drive away a little bit when the others are run out, that's could be a really good tactic. And the gap between Tirach and Waitsy is only 2 tenths now. Tirach and Waitsy on the main straight. Can Tirach get the move done? Oh, he is thinking about it. Goes to the inside, then back to the outside, and he's still behind. Good racing for both drivers, but how is the exit now? Coming up to this DRS straight. Waitsy is losing a bit of traction compared to Tirach, but wow, the top speed I think from Waitsy is a bit more than Tirach is having.
Incredible moment, Mark, between the two McLarens and Easty Mats. The two McLarens, one by one. Oh, Joe, hang on, Joe. Oh, that is a great save from Joe there. I thought he was going to get buried into the wall there, but just about hangs on. I was just about to say the pair of McLarens flew past Easty Mats. Easty Mats down to P13 now on those hard tyres. Louis first got past him, then Joe come at him, but Joe, great save from Joe, almost lost it there and managed to make sure Keza didn't overtake him. So Joe, nice recovery. Both of McLaren's 10th and 11th after overtaking Easty. Easty now in a horrible night, as well as smoke really. The top two in the championship currently both on 0 points, which will be a real shock. So the likes of Ginger Tiger Martin, Tirach are going to be rubbing their hands seeing those guys down there.
Yeah, definitely, and meanwhile Renz is saying in the chat is pretty clever by Kuipers to use his ERS now instead and save it. And well, of course you can use it in the rain, but it's easier to maybe use it in the wet conditions without the risk of spinning out immediately. Could be a good tactic, but let's go back to Tirach because he is following Waitsy so close for P2, and I think he will get an opportunity to do the overtake coming up to the start-finish straight now.
I'm just keeping an eye on Enos in P5. He's trying his hardest to get past Martin. Martin's doing a fantastic job on those hard tyres to keep this trail of medium guys stuck behind him. Martin now probably using a lot of his ERS up the hill, but Enos going to see what he can do. He's not using the ERS, he's going to have DRS. He's dragging along Ginger Tiger with him, but Enos not able to get close enough to Martin to have an attack on the Alpine driver. And this rain, Mark, it's not got any heavier in the last minute or so, has it? So these guys are able to work through these difficult conditions right now. They'll be hoping it doesn't get any heavier this and they can just stick to the slick tires.
That's exactly what Simon just said in the comments. He said this might not go to Inters. Well, let's see. We don't know the perfect conditions, of course, so maybe it's staying like this and the guys can just stick to the dry tires. So let's see what the guys will decide to do. Meanwhile, while you were enjoying that battle, Adam, Tirach was having a big moment. He was completely in the grass, and he is out of the DRS zone at the moment from Waitsy.
Oh. Enos has just, you talk of big moments, Enos has just had a big moment sideways. I think these conditions are starting to affect guys. He's just lost 2 positions in 2 corners. He was sideways through one of the corners. It opened the door for Ginger Tiger to take the place. Then Enos...
Oh, Trem's out of a session. Big crash. He tried to get a move done, and this is a safety car. This is a safety car. Yeah, Trem's was trying to get the move done around the outside, but there was not any room, and he decided to go for it, and then he tried to control the car, but there was no way he could save that. And the car just slammed into the wall.
Yeah, that was a big crash from Trems, and I think it saved Enos. Enos was just about to be overtaken again. He's struggling in these conditions. Easty Mats is on the intermediate tyre mark, which I don't blame him for trying. I do not blame Easty Mats for trying this. he's nowhere right now in this race. Try something a bit different. And these conditions do look quite tricky right now, as Enos proved on the previous lap. So, what would you do in these conditions? We've seen Martin was taken also in the interviews. What would you do in this position, Mark? The conditions look tricky, but right now, like DRS is not disabled, or a lot of people are still on the slick tyres. So, how would you play it in this?
Yeah, it's really difficult to say. If the predictions show it will be going to rain heavier, it might be a good guess to go to the intermediates now. But if it's not, then I would probably pit for the hard tires now. If I were a medium runner. And we see Kuipers and Waitsy and Tirac, all the top guys going into the pits. What tires will they get on? We see SFR Martin on the hard tires as well in the pits. And let's see what they get on. Waitsy's on the hards, Kuipers is on the hards. I think they all decide to stick to the slick tires. And a couple of them went to the soft tires, so maybe they do expect the rain to get a little bit heavier. And they want to just get all the lap time they can get on the soft tires.
Yeah, Martin's gone on the soft tire, Mark, but the Iraq and the car around him are on the hard tires. Everybody else has pitted in for hard tires, apart from Enos. Usman hasn't pitted at all, so he now takes the lead of this race. 10-lap-old medium tires. So Russman is the now leader of this race. He'll be leading these cars round for the restart. The only two guys, as we said, on these medium tires are Eastman and Martin. So that's an interesting call. SFR Martin on the soft tyres. How many laps do you think in these conditions do you reckon he'll be able to get out of them before he'll have to pit again?
Well, I think on the soft tyres, to actually make this work, you simply need to overtake the guys in front of you before you can go to the intermediates. It's essential for Martin to go to the inters, because if he will be so fast right when the safety car comes in, and if he can get himself into the P1 or P2, and then everyone is pitting for inters, he will be the man to watch out for, maybe even the race win.
Both the Mercedes stayed out, so Smoke, who had his moment early in the race, has found himself now back up into P4. He's one place ahead of Martin on those soft tyres. It's same as his teammate, started on a set of medium tyres, so Smoke will be hoping now, like you were just saying with Martin, hoping to get on set of inters soon. Smoke will be hoping for the same, and if that works out, he'll have played the blinder here, because these guys all around him have walked off the hard tire. Joe Hamster is retired from the session. Has Joe crashed somewhere on track? It looks like Joe's crashed on track there, Mark.
Looks like he did on the DRS straight. Let's see.
Yeah,
we can see his car in the wall.
It has.
Oh wow.
Wow.
You can't park there, sir. It's not good. It's unlucky for Joe. That's really unlucky for Joe. Yeah, that's his race over. So let's see when the safety car will come back into the pits, because I'm dying to see what the guys can do and what Martin can do on those soft tires. And I think Russman and Smoke, both the Mercedes guys, stayed out on the old mediums. I'm not sure if that's the best idea, because they are fighting for the constructors. It might have been a better idea to split the... Oh no! T-Rex has lost the car while warming up the tires. And that was a reset to track, I think.
I didn't see that, Mark. I was looking further back because Martin was taken. Go on.
The guys are pitting again. Russman, Smoke, Martin, they're all in the pits. And the Mercedes boys are double stacking to get the intermediate tires.
Wow. So have these guys now played it right here, and those guys on the hard tyres, have they played it wrong? It does look, sitting on board with Ginger Tiger, it does look a lot heavier now, and that track looks damp now. So all these guys on hard tyres, they could be sitting ducks right now. Are they going to have to pit at the end of this lap for inters? And that's going to promote everybody. So right now, it looks like, Mark, that Easty Matt has played an absolute blinder. He put on those intermediate tyres 3 laps ago. He's currently leading of all the intermediate runners. He's now the leader of the intermediate. So, wow, this really could have played into the hands of Easty Mats here. He was absolutely nowhere at the beginning of this race, and suddenly he could be fighting himself right at the very front, because these hard tyre guys, I'm thinking, Mark, are going to have to pit.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they need to pit, and they need to do it now. They need to do it now, and somehow Tirach, after that big spin, he is still in P5, so that's interesting to see. It did look like a reset to track, but let's see what the stewards will think of that later, because we are going to get the restart going on. How are the guys on the hard tires compared to the inters? And we still have, of course, Simply on the medium tires and JSP on the hards. I have no idea what will happen.
This is so fascinating.
There we go, we're on the throttle again. Can we see any moves? Drivers are still trying to get the tires up to temperature, and we see Louis and Kessa in the pits.
Whoa, Martin!
Oh no!
Martin
Kuipers.
and somebody else, Simply.
Kuipers as well.
It's, oh wow. Simply and Martin, I don't know if they've hit each other, but on the start-finish straight, they were both on the outside wall, spinning and crashing. It was a huge crash, and I'd be amazed if that's not at least a virtual safety car. That was a really big accident between the pair of them. I don't know if they touched. No, we've gone back to green, which is amazing, really. That was a big accident, so the race is going ahead again, and we're squabbling with the hard guys and the inter guys, and right now these hard tyres just don't look like they're working, do they, in these conditions? Look at Russman.
The traction he is finding on that track is amazing.
Wow.
It reminds me of Max Verstappen in 2016, I think it was, just driving past all the guys. That's exactly what Russman is doing right now on the inter tires, and we actually see Kessa pitting for the wets. And Russman gets the move done on Michael Lutke as well.
Wow.
And no doubt he will catch Waitsy really quickly now.
It's like he got a cheat mode on, it wasn't it then? Everybody else was like, they was on half throttle, the way Russman just cruised past all those guys on hard tyres. And sure, I'm amazed Waitsy hasn't pitted. He's gone for another lap, and Russman clearly is on the right tyre here. He's absolutely reeling in the Red Bull at a rate of knots here. Russman will get him in the next few corners. He's tiptoeing. Waitsy's tiptoeing around each one of these corners right now. Here comes Russman. Russman's off the track. Oh, wow, he saved that well. Oh, Mark, I need a breath. Wow. I thought Russman had binned it then. So lucky. He's kept that on track.
Well, I just seen that. I saw him driving around on the grass.
Oh.
But he is still in P2, and the gap is still only 0.7 of a second, and he is just coming for that Red Bull there. Look at the difference in tire grip. Can he get the move done around the outside? He's got a better traction, he got a better speed coming out of the corners. Needs to be careful though on the braking, because he will have the better grip there as well. Oh, there he goes up the inside, and that's Russman into P1.
Wow. Yeah, Waitsy surely has to pit now. He's not. Waitsy's not pitting. Is this going to really cost him good points here? Because Martin and Sunboy and Smoke and Enos are all coming now. And there goes Martin for P2. Well, I think Waitsy's made a huge mistake here, Mark. Sunboy's now going to be the next person to take him. Look at that. It's so easy for these intermediate runners. And here comes Smoke. Waitsy is a sitting duck right now. He should have pitted, and he's just going to only go backwards here. Meanwhile, Ginger Tiger in 7th place is also not pitted. He's on the hard tyres. But to the moment, Ginger Tiger has got a 10-second gap to Louis behind him, and Waitsy's just lost out to Enos. And Waitsy in pretty much one corner as Ginger Tiger's out.
What happened there?
He's crashed somewhere, Mark.
Oh, he lost it on the exit corner.
Oh, he's in the wall.
And we have another safety car. New safety car right now.
Wow. Wow. Well, I think the pair of us need a couple of minutes just to take a breath after that excitement. That was absolutely incredible. And surely now Waitsy has to pit.
You need to.
after seeing what Ginger Tiger's just done on those hard tyres in these conditions, surely Waitsy has to pit now, and he's all out of shape again. He can barely get on throttle out of these corners. He has to pit now, otherwise he's going to lose even more time. So yeah, Russman leads Mark, incredible stuff. Martin second, Sunboy third, and a championship contender in Ginger Tiger is out. Could that prove costly in this fight for the championship?
Yeah, it will be really interesting to see how this championship plays out, because this race can turn everything upside down. It really can, and at this rate, I have no clue what will happen in the next half of this race. We are not even on the halfway point.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. You'd from a commentator's point of view, Mark, you'd probably say bring this sort of race on every week because it brings so much action, but I'm sure these guys will be absolutely hating it right now in these conditions. I don't know about you, but I haven't actually seen the DRS disabled sign come up yet. So are these guys still running around in wet conditions with DRS, which is amazing? So yeah, that is quite surprising. So Waitsy did pit, and he's put himself into P8 now. I think he's got lucky there because he could have dropped even further down if that safety car hadn't come out. So Waitsy stays within the points, but I think he should have pitted at least 2 laps sooner, and he might not have been that far down. But see what he can do now on those intermediate tyres. And look at that. We were saying at the beginning of this race, both the Mercedes were really struggling. They're now first and fourth. How things have changed for them.
Yeah, definitely. And Rens is saying in the chat, if he is at the back of the grid right now, he maybe would have gambled for the full wet tires. What would you have done? Do you think it's time for full wets or maybe inters? What's your opinion?
I probably wouldn't have gone full wets. I don't think, just riding on board with Russman now, I don't think it's that wet right now, but it is obviously getting wetter by the looks of it. So if you're at the back, why not try something different? Look at Eastermats. He went onto a set of intermediate tyres, and that promoted him from, at the time he was P14 up to P9, so that gamble worked. So maybe a gamble like that could work, but right now I'm not seeing like puddles forming or anything on track. So I think intermediate tyres are the right call. Whether it gets heavier, I don't know. These conditions are so hard to predict, aren't they, right now? And let's hope the safety car comes in at the end of this lap. Keza just catching up to the back of the pack now. So hopefully we'll see that Aston Martin safety car peel into the pit shortly, and Russman can lead this pack to green flag racing again. We don't have... Yeah. There we go. So safety car in this lap, Mark. More excitement coming.
Let's hope so. And make sure, if you're watching this right now and you are enjoying this race, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like for this video. It just really helps us out. So thanks in advance. And let's go back to this race restart. When will Russman go back to the throttle? And here he goes on the throttle with ERS wide open as well. Immediately got a gap from around 6-7 tenths, I think it is, with what is going to happen behind him. And all the drivers have pretty cold tires now. And we see Kessa get the move done on JSP at the back of the grid. But apart from those guys, I think everyone is getting around the center S's clearly.
Kuipers did get the move done through the center S's on Michael Lutke, so Kuipers back up to P10 now. Michael Lutke tried his hardest to hold on to the position, but he had to yield, and Kuipers into P10. The Alpha Tauri driver now is trying to put the pressure on Eastermats in P9. He's not really having a great night this evening, Eastermats, and he'll be open to try and recover as much as he can with his title rival in P4. But Russman's had a good start to this lap, hasn't he? He's built over a second gap to Martin back in second place. That's a perfect restart for him. He couldn't have asked for better.
No, definitely. He did open up the gap, but now Martin is closing in a lot. I'm not sure, maybe he is using all of his ERS. Not sure on that. But he is just closing in like 6/10 just on this straight. So maybe Rosman made a bit of an error there on the exit. I didn't see it on stream, I'm afraid.
Oof. Great move. Tirac, great move on Waitsy there. Round the outside into the centre S's. Fantastic move. The Haas driver up to P7. Waitsy under pressure from Kuipers now. Kuipers down the inside of Waitsy, and in 3 corners Waitsy has lost 2 places and he's down to P9. Michael Lucky's ahead of Easemats now, so Easemats has dropped out of the points again. But further up ahead, Mark. Oh, as we see a dive from Louis on Enos. Wow, that was brave. You don't see overtakes that often in that corner, but Enos holds on to P5. Louis in the McLaren putting the pressure on the Ferrari driver P5, but the Ferrari driver will be hoping to attack the Mercedes driver of Smoke ahead, but right now his wing mirrors are full of papaya.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you there, but I thought Martin was going to lose the car, but he was sideways. He's losing like half a second now, but he kept the car in a straight line, and the only thing he lost was some time compared to Rosman, but he's still on track.
Easemats all out of shape into the final few corners, and he's dropped to Keza now, and he's dropped to P13 now. He's not enjoying these conditions. Easemat is now last. In the space of a few laps, he's dropped to the back of the field, which is a real shame for him. Martin, meanwhile, SFR Martin that is, in second place, is stuck around half a second behind Rosman, and these two are...
Oh, sorry, that's Enos into the wall. Enos in the wall. He lost the traction. At the same point, I think Ginger Tiger crashed there. He is off track to let all the guys go. And that must have been wing damage, yeah. His complete front wing has gone.
Oh no. That's a real shame. Enos was driving well.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Battling with Louis, and that does promote Louis now. Louis was pressing to take P5. That now does promote him to P5, and Louis will be hoping to attack Smoke, but Louis does have some penalties, 3 seconds worth of penalties, which he'll be hoping don't affect his overall race position at the end. So yeah, Louis into P5. He'll be hoping to attack Smoke now, and he's gaining into turn 1, but he's not going to be able to do anything here. Smoke just slightly falling off the back of some boy here. He's falling into the clutches of that McLaren driver, but Smoke right now, as we've got a yellow flag in sector 3, and I think that is Enos. Yeah, Enos is retired from the session. That's a real shame, because up until that point he was having a
definitely. He was doing a really good race. It just that little mistake and everything is gone. Just to clarify, the DRS is not open at the moment on the straight, so I think the message is just not showed up for us. But the DRS is not there for the guys. Kuipers is following Tirac so close. He was so close as well last. Oh, he's going up to the inside. He's on the inside of Tirac. And can he get the move done? Kuipers gets the move done on Tirac. That's good racing there. Well done.
Kuipers is enjoying these conditions, isn't he? He's taking position after position right now. And next up it'll be Louis in P5 as we see Keza and Michael Lucky. Has Michael Lucky had an issue? I believe he has, because he's going slowly up the hill mark. He's dropped him down to P11, and Easemats is going to have a run at him now as we see Louis has overtaken Smoke for P4, Mark. So Louis up to P4, Smoke down to P5, and then Kuipers now onto the back of Smoke here, because Kuipers gets Smoke as well as Louis. He's going to have a look, but Kuipers is not able to get past the Smoke, drops down to P5. Louis having a decent race in P4.
There are so many close battles out on track. Can Waitsy actually recover and get Tirac now? He closed all the way in, but you know, it's one thing to close in, but you need to get past as well, and that's easier said than done, especially in these conditions.
I agree. I agree. These conditions I would not be enjoying right now, as Kuipers is almost pushing Smoke round these corners. Wow, I'm amazed they didn't touch there. That they were that close. Smoke is just in the palm of Kuiper's hands right now, and here comes Kuiper's full ERS. He's done this already a few times tonight. Full ERS up the hill, powers past the car ahead, into P5 goes Kuiper's Smoke, down to P6 now. And what are you thinking here with Smoke? If you were Smoke, are you thinking some of my title rivals are struggling? Do I try and play a bit safer to bring the car in these conditions? You play in this scenario, because Smoke has an opportunity to really score well over his rivals, but at the moment he seems to be struggling.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think you can do it too safe around this track in the wet condition, because you need to get into a rhythm, and if you in a rhythm and at a certain pace, if you go any slower, it just breaks that rhythm and you're more likely to crash out. At least that's my experience. It's just better to do just your own pace, lap after lap after lap, instead of being more careful, because that's just off-putting, I think. But at least that's what it is for me. Not sure about the guys racing tonight, of course, but let's see what Louis can do. He got Kuipers right in his gearbox, but Louis will be looking forward more to the Alpine of Sunboy on the start-finish straight. Can he get close enough? He definitely is closing in. He's on the outside to get a better entry to the corner, and that means the better exit as well. So can he get Sunboy on the exit?
Oh no! Russman! Oh, he's recovered well, but Russman was sideways after the Senna S's, and it opened the door for Martin, and Martin said thank you very much. So SFR Martin takes this race. Russman recovered nicely. He got onto the curb quite a bit. The car went a little bit sideways, managed to recover it. He's dropped himself down to P2. Thankfully for his sake, Sunboy was about 2 and a bit seconds behind, so he didn't lose a position to Sunboy. But Russman survived the scare, but is now into P2.
Yeah, and he will be... Oh, wow. That's a good battle here between Louis and Kuipers. Louis is still in front. I was going to say that Russman will be becoming under pressure of Sunboy pretty soon as well. But let's see if Sunboy can actually get the pace up. I think he can. He's closing in, so that's it's looking good for him. And yes, both of the penalties are 3 seconds for both Louis and Kessa. So that's good to know as well, because of course Louis is fighting for maybe even a P2 at the moment, maybe a race win. Who knows what's going to happen? But he's got that 3-second time penalty.
Meanwhile, he's just mentioned Keza. He has now overtaken Smoke, and Smoke's now down to P8, and JSP is the next one to put the pressure on Smoke. Smoke's really not enjoying these conditions, similar to Easty Maps, not enjoying these conditions right now. Not got a good feel for the track, and JSP putting the pressure on Smoke now. Smoke could find himself tumbling out of the points here if he's not careful. So Smoke down to P8, and Kuiper's still putting pressure on Louis for P4, but also Louis putting big pressure on Sunboy. And as Russman had another issue, Mark, because Sunboy, look at him now, he's 0.3 of a second behind the Mercedes driver. He was 1 and a bit seconds. Surely through the second section somewhere, Russman has had an issue, and here comes Sunboy, Louis and Kuipers. Russman could be a sitting duck going up this hill to these guys.
Yeah, he could be. Sunboy is right in the slipstream, using ERS. I'm pretty sure he is, and he will get the move done on the inside of Russman. And Sunboy is onto P2, but Russman is fighting back. He's really late on the brakes, but that leaves him really front. Oh no, Louis lost the car.
Louis!
Oh no, he's going back to track. Oh, luckily that car is just ghosting. That's Louis all the way down to P12. And we see...
Oh wow,
Kuipers and Russman.
Have you seen this battle, Kuipers and Russman side by side? Surely not through there. What an incredible move that is from Kuipers, round the outside. Wow, that is some move there from Kuipers to take P3. Russman, good, big credit to Russman there. He kept his elbows out as firm as he could, but Kuipers was definitely taking that position. And what a drive this has been, Mark, from Kuipers. And I've got a question for you. Is it me, or does it look like it stopped
That was
raining?
exactly my thought as well. I think it stopped raining, and we have 9 laps to go. Can we actually see the guy go back to the slicks this race?
I would not be surprised, and if I was like to Lewis, Kuiper's in the pits.
Oh,
now, is he going to go into a set of softs? They're all coming into the pits.
Let's see what tires. Yeah, they're going for the soft tires. They are going for the soft tires at the end of this race. Everyone is in the pits, except for Martin, Sunboy, JSP, and Waitsy. They stayed out. Is that the best strategy? Some guys went into the mediums as well, Kuipers and Tirach. But what is the track still quicker now for the inters or for the dry tires on the outlap? Because if the track is still quicker now on the intermediate tires, I'm sure Martin, Sunboy, and JSP will.
And unfortunately for him, that is his race done as Martin, Sunboy, JSP, and Waitsy should be coming in now. Martin and Sunboy have come in, but have they come in a lap too late here? Where is Kuipers and Tirach going to feature as these top 4 now pit?
Let's see. Kuipers had a big moment there, but I will be riding along with Kuipers to see where he comes out of the pits. And we see all the guys coming to the soft tires. Well, Kuipers is on the mediums. He is coming past. I think Martin might be just in front of him. Martin might just be in front of Kuipers on the exit. And Sunboy, of course, had the double stack. That's really unfortunate for him because he lost out a lot of time. But we see Martin leading this race, coming out of the pits in front of Kuipers on fresh, soft tires compared to the medium of Kuipers.
Whoa! Keza has just overtaken Russman. I think Russman was keeping an eye on Sunboy. DRS is enabled now. Russman was looking at Sunboy coming out of the pits, and Keza's being held up by Sunboy. Oh, they've touched! Oh, big crash!
Between Russman and Keza, I think it was.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I was riding on board with Russman there. Keza, I think, got caught out by Sunboy running a little bit slower, and he slowed down, and Russman went for the overtake. Keza then drifted left, no intention of causing foul play here. He drifted left to get some space and didn't see Russman there. They both collected each other into the wall. I think they're both running. Yes, they are both running, but I'm sure the pair of them will have wing damage. So, yeah, that was really unfortunate. I don't think there was any malice there, Mark, in that incident. I just think it was really unfortunate that the pair of them got stuck behind Sunboy on cold tyres. But meanwhile, at the front, as Keza is retired, that's a real shame. Russman into pits. At the front, Mark, Kuipers on those medium tyres put all sorts of pressure now on Martin on those soft tyres.
Yeah, and I just have some information from Simon. Keza had a rear wing damage, so that's why he retired the car. So that's really unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo driver. I couldn't see from my perspective what happened there, but I'm sure both of the drivers didn't want this ending. So yeah, it's really unfortunate for both, I guess. Let's go back to the battles at the front. JSP is looking fast as well on the soft tires. He is closing down Sunboy. And I'm a bit surprised that Sunboy is not keeping up with Tirach now, while Sunboy is on the soft tire. I would expect the soft runners to be a little bit faster compared to the mediums.
Yeah, I'm amazed at the performance Kuipers is putting in on those medium tyres. I fully expected SFR Martin to just run away on those soft tyres, but Kuipers is hanging on nicely. And these two in a bit of a race of their own right now, aren't they, in first and second? Tirach's 3 seconds back, and then he's got a cushion to Sunboy behind, 2.7 seconds back. But Sunboy is not comfortable at all. He's got JSP right behind him and Waitsy right behind him, really starting to put the pressure on the Alpine drivers. So Sunboy has got a lot of work to do for the last 5 laps of this race if he wants to hang on to P4.
Yeah, it's going to be really tricky without the help of DRS for him. He lost out a lot of time because of the double stack in the pits with his teammate Martin, who was leading the race. So far, we only have 10 drivers running, so everyone who will finish this race will score points. And we see the move here from Waitsy on JSP. JSP was a bit wider on the exit. And Waitsy get the move done. which promotes him up to P5. Kuipers, meanwhile, with the fastest lap, is trying to catch Martin. Oh, I was too Waitsy getting Sunboy as well in the Senna S's. Sunboy is going to fight back, but no chance.
Nice move that from Waitsy, and he's recovering as JSP now gets past Sunboy. Sunboy's lost 2 places in 2 corners there, and Sunboy down to P6 now. So Waitsy, who was leading this race at one point and probably made a mistake with the tyre choice when it rained, is now on the hunt now to try and get back on the podium. 3.3 seconds behind Tarak ahead, but I think his immediate concern is making sure that JSP doesn't start to attack him either. So he wanted to try and build the gap to JSP behind, but JSP is not going to make this easy for him. Meanwhile, up ahead, SFR Martin, I think, is doing a decent job on those soft tyres. I think he's using his ERS wisely. You probably have seen where Kuipers has been using his ERS. Kuipers trying his hardest. He's gaining through DRS, but just isn't quite close enough to Martin to really have a go. As Waitsy, with that mega lap from him, is now putting the fastest lap. But this is the closest Kuipers has been for a while. Can Kuipers get the move done? No, not quite. Martin hangs on
Kuipers
again.
is saving up the ERS. He's not even using it. So he is saving up the ERS and lets just Martin drain his battery. And it's working for now because Martin is down to 26%. Meanwhile, Kuipers is around 60%. With only a couple of laps to go. Oh no! Waitsy lost the car. Waitsy lost control of the car, spun around, and lost a couple of positions now.
That's frustrating for Waitsy. Another guy who has had a decent race, but one mistake has cost him, and that has dropped him to the clutches of Louis and Smoke now. Smoke still in the points, and if he finishes now, he will definitely score points because there's only 10 runners left. So he'll be hoping to try and get Louis and potentially Waitsy, but Smoke and Louis both have time penalties, whereas Waitsy does not. Meanwhile, up ahead again, Mark. Kuipers. Oh, Martin's lost it!
Oh my god.
The race leader has spun through the Senna S. The rear end just went from underneath him. Kuipers said thank you very much. And SFR Martin is the latest person, Mark, to spin it on this track tonight. This has just been a race just full of drama. And Martin is back on track. I don't know if he's got wing damage. Does it appear he has got wing damage? He's down in P5. That'll be incredibly frustrating for Martin. What with two and a bit laps left. So Kuipers now has got a 5-second lead here, Mark. And he's looked phenomenal, hasn't he? And he just has to keep it clean now, and this race victory is his.
Yeah, definitely. He just needs to keep it on track, and this race win will be going Dutch, I think. Tirach did an amazing job as well, and I'm still a bit surprised with maybe the lack of pace of the soft runners compared to the 2 medium runners. I expected Kuipers and Tirach to be quite a bit slower, but Kuipers is actually setting the fastest lap time on the older mediums. That's impressive. Wow. That's really impressive. And Sunboy in P4 at the moment is trying to fight back to JSP. He's trying to close the gap and get himself back on the podium again. But JSP will do everything he can to claim this final podium position tonight.
Louis trying his hardest to get past Waitsy, 0.3 of a second behind. He's gaining on him through the DRS, but unable to get close enough to get a move done. And the longer he gets stuck behind this Red Bull, the harder it is for him to not only pass, but to build that 3-second gap to make P6 his. And unfortunately for Louis, it's looking increasingly unlikely that he is going to take P6 tonight. He is under pressure from Smoke behind as well. So a nice little battle there, but as long as Waitsy does it right. Oh, Waitsy's lost it again. He's run very deep into that corner, just about survives. But Louis wasn't close enough to take advantage of that. So Waitsy brings a huge sigh of relief here. But can Louis now take advantage of this? I think this has been the closest he's been up the hill for a while. He's using his ERS now. DRS is going to be enabled. Waitsy's also using the ERS, but he's running out of battery. Here comes Louis round the outside into turn 1. Can he send it round the outside? He's on the grass. Louis on the grass. Can Smoke take advantage of this? Louis on the grass. Didn't get the moves on a Waitsy. Now Smoke's coming at him, but Louis will have DRS himself to defend. So I think Louis got away with that there, Mark, because he could have easily found himself losing a position to Smoke there.
What a battle. And meanwhile, at the front, we had a battle as well between JSP and Sunboy. Sunboy was going for the move. JSP needed to defend, and they both did that perfectly. Really good racing, and JSP is still in front of him. But Sunboy threw everything at him. No, JSP lost the car. JSP is off. Oh no, that's so unfortunate. It's sector 3. He lost the car. He was driving out to P3.
Meanwhile, big congratulations to Kuipers. Kuipers, your race winner tonight. Huge congratulations. Tirax coming across the line to take P2. Here comes Sunboy for P3. Martin recovers up to he's into P3. Martin. So did Sunboy have a penalty? I wasn't aware of. I think he must have. So Martin ended up on the podium after his incident. Sunboy down to P4, Waitsy P5, Easty Mats. He's had a race to forget. Is somehow P6, Smoke P7, Louis P8, JSP P9, and Russman, the final car, just to come through the second sector now to finish off in P10. Wow, Mark, where do we start with this race? Absolutely unbelievable.
It really is unbelievable, and I honestly, well, first of all, big congrats to Kuipers, Tirach, and Martin. All three of them really much deserved this podium. Brilliant race, kept it clean, and that's what you need to do today. Because I have to say, I do feel for JSP. He was just under so much pressure. Final couple of corners, and he just lost the control of the car, spun around, lost his podium. Wow, that's unfortunate for him. But what a race we have just seen! Wow, and everyone who is watching right now, if you are thinking the same as us in this race, please leave a like on this video. It just really helps us out, helps us out, helps the channel out. Subscribe to the channel as well, of course. Thanks for everyone. But let's go to the podium celebrations now. And the AlphaTauri driver celebrating there on top. And I bet he will be pleased with this podium. And hopefully we can ask him a couple of questions when they can join in the interviews. But for now, this is the Invictus Racing League Tier 2 race. We see Kuipers takes the win for AlphaTauri after an amazing race. Every drive was incredibly close together, but Kuipers takes home the win and the fastest lap time. Then we see Tirach coming in to P2 in the Haas, Martin in P3. Sunboy indeed had a 3-second time penalty in P4, Waitsy in P5 after a couple of spins. That's impressive. Easty Mets in P6, Smoke in P7, Louis in P8. JSP after that last spin in the final couple of corners down to P9. And Russman is in P10. And I'm afraid all the other drivers tonight suffered from a DNF.
We are filtering some of the podium guys now, just waiting for the race winner, Mark. So I'm just going to get a couple more minutes and then we'll join. If not, we'll start with second place. But where do you go after that race, Mark? It was a case of whoever survived would score good points, and we had all sorts. And some of the racing in those wet conditions especially, was absolutely incredible. Russman at one point looking like he had a cheat code on with his intermediate tyres versus the guys on the hard tyres. It was an absolute fantastic race for us to watch. And these guys who've just joined us would particularly enjoyed racing and being part of it, because that looked very tricky indeed. We're just waiting for Kuipers. So I don't know, Mark, if you want to maybe give Kuipers a nudge to see if we can hear from him, and I'll get underway with the other guys so we're not keeping him too long. And I'll start off with second place Tirach. And congratulations, Tirach. It was a case of, I think, of just surviving and not being involved in any incidents or spins, and you've ended up coming home in P2, and that'll be big result for yourself in terms of this fight for the championship.
Yeah, thank you very much. And GG's to Kuipers. He was really fast at the end. I couldn't really keep up with him. And yeah, it was a very tricky race. I didn't think the rain was gonna hit hard, so I went for hards. But then it started raining really hard, and yeah, that really shuffled the grid a little bit. But yeah, Pichu, good for the championship. 3 races left. Let's do this.
Yeah, exactly. And all your championship rivals ahead, one didn't score at all, and the others scored lower than you. So, as you say, big result for yourself tonight, getting those points with not many races left in this championship. That could prove vital. So, congratulations on the second place there, mate. And we'll move to Martin. I can imagine you're feeling very frustrated with how tonight has gone. You was leading and looking comfortable in first place, even though Kuipers was putting pressure on you. You had that slight spin. Even though you had that spin, you've still come home with a third place, which is incredible. How are you feeling right now? Because I'm sure there's a lot of emotions right there.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to be in the interview right now.
Ah,
uh, yeah, I'm not happy right now. It just keeps happening whenever I'm leading a race, and I didn't do anything going through turn one and two that I hadn't been doing the laps before or the lap after, and the car just decided to go for no reason, and yeah, I'm a bit pissed off with it because I can't understand it. And I was talking with my friends because some of them have experienced similar things, and I'm convinced that EA are implementing scripting into online mode. But who knows? Maybe in 2 years it'll come out that that's what they're doing. But congratulations to Rakin. I don't want to take anything away from Kuipers because he made all the right decisions and he was absolutely fantastic out on track. He was really quick. So congratulations to him as well. I think I went the wrong tyre at the end. The soft didn't feel good anyway. I'd already done a couple of laps on it in quali, so it wasn't fresh. And Kuipers pitted the lap earlier as well. I wasn't quite convinced that it would dry out in time. I thought that if we went in a lap later, it would have been the best option, but it clearly wasn't. Um, so yeah, I went in a hard tyre at the beginning because it wasn't actually supposed to start racing until like lap 25 or something like that, but it started raining on lap 6. Another great fucking thing from EA. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird race. How I managed to get out with a podium, I'll never know. But
uh, that's what I
um,
was. I was
me
saying
and
that was what.
Sunboy are kind of like I was hoping to go for the championship when I was in P1 coming out the pits in P1. I was like, oh well, maybe I'll still have a chance to catch up for the championship. But I think that's gone now. So me and Sunboy, he finished P4 behind me, I think. So we'll push on for the constructors now and see if we can get somewhere in the constructors. We made some ground up on the Mercs today. I'm not sure where they both finished. Russman was really quick in the wet. He was difficult to get past. But yeah, I'm really frustrated, but also, congratulations to the other podium guys. They were great today.
Well, thanks for coming and talking to us anyway. I can understand your frustrations and still congratulations on a P3 despite what happened. And it's still good points for you and as you say, Sunboy as well. Are we any news, Mark, on our race winner this
Yes, we
evening?
do. Yes, we do. But I'm afraid he can't make the interview and he needs to go. So
That's a
that's
real
a
shame.
shame. But yeah, massive congratulations to all three of you. Amazing race and wow, what a battles we've seen tonight, Ellen. It's
Yeah, uh, I'm struggling to remember it all. There was so many moments throughout this race. We had the big moment with Martin was taken. I think we involved with Simply on the start finish race, which I'm amazed didn't cause at least a virtual safety car. That was a really big moment. Russman turned into a lawnmower at one point, running across the grass. It had all sorts in this race, and if you haven't watched it and you've only just tuned in. I do highly recommend you watch this back. It was another cracker. These F2 guys put on another great show this evening, and I cannot wait for Abu Dhabi next
definitely
week.
can't wait for next week. But yeah, has been amazing, and let's hope next week in Abu Dhabi will be more of the same. But for now, for everyone who is watching or has watched this, I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Please leave a like for the video. Subscribe to the channel if you didn't already do so, and make sure to check in the tomorrow's race as well, the Tier 3 race, and then on Thursday, of course, the realistic performance race around Brazil as well. Thank you all for watching, but this was the Invictus Racing League Tier 2 race, brought to you in partnership with gridfinder.com. Thank you all for watching, have a good evening, and hopefully till next time. Bye bye.